Hi and welcome back. In our last video, we have completed our student registration form, and this is our output. Now in this video, we're going to add a few things to our registration form. Specifically, we're going to add basic client-side validation. So say for example, when the user clicks the save button or the submit button and they did not input on some required fields, our form should output some error messages. So let's go. So in here, we will have our student ID and name and the password as our required fields. So let's just put some asterisks here. Just make this one a little smaller and red. So this will just give an idea to the user that these fields are required fields. Okay, now so the input element has very useful attributes that you can use to perform some basic client-side validation. One of them is actually the required attribute. So the required attribute specifies that the input field must be filled out before submitting a form. So it means that when the user clicks the submit button and they did not input anything into that particular field, input field, an error message will be displayed. So that is exactly what we need for our student name and student ID. So you just click on your input type, then go to code, or you can go to split. And as you can see here, this is our input type, student ID, the type is text. Then we will just add here the required attribute. So just make sure that your spelling is correct. Okay, and then we go to our student name. And then again, we write the word required. And then in the password as well, we will write here the required attribute. Okay, now we click save. Now, as you can see here, the required attribute is a red, seems like an error sign in Expression Web, but that's fine. It is just that probably this attribute has not been integrated to our current Expression Web version. So we just click save, and then let's see how our required attribute works. So let's go to our click refresh. So every time you make changes to your design and you write anything to your code, and when you go back to your browser, you have to click the refresh. Okay, so let's check our required attribute. I will click on the save button. I will not input anything. Click save. So you can see error message is displayed. Please fill out this field. So for example, we write this one. I will click save again. Without inputting anything, error message is also displayed. So let's say I will write here again. I will click save again without inputting in the password, error message is also displayed. So say I will write some password here, and then I click save. Okay, no more error messages is displayed. Okay, so another thing that we're going to add to our form is we're going to add an email field and a birth date field. So let us insert some row below. Then we're going to write here email. And then, so you can see there is no input email here. So for now, we will just add the input type text. Okay, let us insert again another insert row below. And then we'll have birth date. Then again, there is no input date here. We'll just add first using the input text. Okay, so now we have to make sure that the email and the birth date will accept the respective correct input format. So for the email, it should accept input only in the correct email format, as well as the date field should also accept input in the correct date format. So to do that, we have to change the input type of this field. So you click on this one, then you go to type, click. As you can see, the input date is not part of the options here. So what we can do, I mean email. So we have just to manually write here email. And then also here in the date, just have to manually write here the date. Okay, so you can check it actually from here. Email. See, input type is equal to email. At the same time, input type is equal to date. Okay, so let us save this one. But before we do that, let us first make our layer bigger to accommodate our new form elements, the newly added elements. Okay, click save. And then let's go back to our browser, refresh. Okay, so let us input something here so that we will not get the error message. And now let's check our email. So for example, I will say, I will write only Jasmine, not an email format. So I will click save. So the form gives out an error message. Please include an @ in the email address. So I will say @sct.edu.om. And as you can see now, if you use input type is equal to date, automatically that field will become a date picker. So that will make inputting of the date very easy for your users. Okay, click save. No more error message. Okay, then that's it for this video, and see you in our next video.